Let me start with a question. Have you ever been to China? What comes to your mind when you think of China? Beijing? The Great Wall? Or the Kung Fu Panda? Then what about Chengdu? Have you ever heard of Chengdu? Let me show you on this map. Chengdu is one of the biggest cities in southwest China. It's the capital of Sichuan province and home to over 16 million people. You know who else is home to? The giant panda. Whew. Chengdu is also famous for its spicy food and relaxed atmosphere. It's been my home for over 30 years and I love it here. 谢谢. Hey, I'm Kun, and I invite you to join me on these virtual walks where I show you around my city and hopefully I could learn something new for myself. After the subway ride, I just got out of the station and look at the name behind me, Wenshu Monastery, which means now I'm in an area where major temples are to be found in Chengdu. The reason I came here today is I have a huge favor to ask, and I believe that the Buddha will hear my wishes and make my wishes come true. Breathe out. Breathe in. Well, I know I shouldn't speak, but it just feels so quiet and peaceful in here. And you just cannot believe I'm still in Chengdu, a city of 16 million people. I gotta be surrounded by all the hustle and bustle, right? But now I couldn't be more peaceful than ever, because I'm inside a temple, and of course, I came here for a certain purpose. Honestly, I have an important meeting coming up next week, and it's a critical moment in my career, and I'll be very likely promoted if I did it great. So I came here to ask a big favor from my Buddha to give me good luck for the meeting. And I'm just meditating a little bit to get into the vibe of praying. The temple I just visited is a 1,800-year-old Taoist temple. And just, Taoism is the original Chinese religion born, and got so many believers in here. And truthfully, our culture, Chinese calligraphy, music, and Tai Chi were all affected by Taoism. But it doesn't mean that Buddhism has no followers. In fact, these two religions coexist so well in China that they share the same space. Like this one I visited, and just next door will be Wenshu Monastery, another great significant Buddhist place that I cannot wait to go and visit. So let's go. Well, I am officially inside Wenshu Monastery now. This place has been closed ever since COVID. And during this time, people have so many wishes to make. Wishes for their good health, for the good of their family, but also for, the success in their careers, just like me, right? And another important reason is today is actually the birth date of Sakai Muni, the great founder of Buddhism. So I'm joined by lots of believers, followers of Buddhism. And now I'm going to join the line to burn my incense and make my wishes come true. I was so surprised by how many people showed up at Wenshu Monastery. Compared to the quiet little Taoist place we visited earlier, this is a big contrast, especially noticing how many younger people it has attracted, which explains that Chinese Buddhism is obviously more popular among young people than Chinese Taoism. In addition to these religious differences, I'm sure Chengdu has a lot more to offer, in particular in its community differences. Maybe you know that Chengdu is populated by Han majority people, but what you might not know is, aside from that, there are a couple of minority groups also live and work in Chengdu in their specific zones. So next, I'm gonna go check out what they're doing and what might be interesting to notice. Welcome to Tibet. Kidding. Welcome to Kaohsiungqiao, the Tibet in Chengdu. Yes, we are still in Chengdu. Surprise! But look at where I'm sitting in. Doesn't it look like as if I'm in Tibet? What's in front of me is typically what a Tibetan usually have in their home, right? Because thinking of the high plateau, thinking of the weather, thinking of their nomadic lifestyle, they don't have as many choices as we do. So what they do is they make the most of it. So on my table, I have this barley flour. And then because Tibetans they raise lots of yaks, so yak meat, yak cheese, as well as yak butter are so commonly seen on their tables. So what I'm now doing is I'm going to mix these ingredients all together using my hand. See, this is another difference, totally different. If you ask any Chinese to eat with their hands, they might freak out. But for Tibetans, there's nothing more common than this, okay? So I just mix it up, look at this. And now I'm gonna eat this delicious staple Tibetan specialty with my hands. Let's go. See, Chengdu is such a diverse city. Not only you see the very typical Chinese style of streets, but also maybe around a corner you turn and you walk into a Tibetan area. I am in Chunxi Road, a super fancy area with IFS, Taikuli, and the traditional shopping center for Chengdu locals called Chunxi Road. If what we have visited this morning and this afternoon are so-called the traditional and the ancient side of Chengdu, for the rest of the day, I decided to spend in the beating heart of Chengdu, the present and the future of this city. Even in the fanciest area of Chengdu, where you think everything here should be brand new, should be fashionable, we still keep running into sharp contrasts. Here I am in front of a 200-year-old building as a sign of a great war once broke out in recent history of Sichuan, which caused the population here decreased a lot. So the imperial government had to encourage people by offering policies to bring their families and folks into Sichuan to increase the population here. And for immigrant folks, whenever they miss their folks and their hometowns, they tended to gather here. And that building was the club center where these immigrants gathered around. In addition to this historical relics here, look what's behind it. A brand new skyscraper built in just less than 10 years. So here I am sitting at one of my favorite spots here in Taikuli, my people watching point, which means I can sit here and watch people here walk and go and checking out their attitudes towards fashion and checking out their, different lives. What might be common to figure to many of you is that China has been closed down for many years. But what's surprising to find is nowadays China is chasing after luxury and some other things just like other parts of the world. And in Europe, you may find most visitors coming to shop for luxury goods are actually Chinese. And it's also true when you look into our domestic market. People are showing incredible power for luxury products purchasing. And also Chengdu is known among one of the top markets for luxury shopping. No wonder whenever you come here in Taikuli area, you always can find the latest new arrivals and the fanciest shopping lifestyles here.
And that is Chengdu for you, where traditional meets modernity, a city full of contrasts. On that note, thanks for joining me and see you next time.